Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to some more LEGO building. Happy Friday. Sorry it has been iffy of late, but I decided that we'll go ahead and start the Artemis space launch system, which is what we had as our previous goal. So it is a big box. It will likely take us a bit of time to do. Well, let's go ahead and get it open. So how's everyone doing today? I'm putting it to the side so that I can use my knife, which I tried to get a small knife to open things, and it ended up being a rather large knife. I want just like a little tiny knife with a blade like this big. Okay, here's the inner box. Get that in a second. Alright, we got 16. We got a 20. 15. 26. Next, all needs to make a scale moon for Artemis to orbit. Yeah, but then someone would just say, "That's no moon," and I'd have to go, "Oh," you know. And who wants to go, "Oh," all the time, you know? One way to go to the place that has not been completely corrupted by capitalism? Don't worry, I don't think it ever will be. There's 27. $18, 19, 22, 24. 25, and 13. Okay, those are probably the last ones, and all the earlier ones are in the box, so let's see. Alright, there's 26, 27, and a 20. Alright. Then we got 19 and 18 here. $17, 16. 15, 14, 13. All right. Let's go ahead and get this one open. This knife is really picky about when it wants to close. It's very annoying. There we go. All right, we got our instruction booklet. I think there's probably stickers in there too. Oh, all right. Okay. Alright, so we're looking for 12 first. There's 12. Alright. Slip that up there. There's 11. Ten. 9. 8. Yeah, that is 7. 7. Alright, I got one right here, so let's go ahead and put that back there. There's 6. 5. 4 and 3. And 2. Alright. So got all the bags sorted out. She got bumped somehow. There we go. Another brick separator, of course, so that goes into my container of brick separators. And Clouth Warthog on a 95 stream streak. Very nice. Thank you very much. I gotta get back to streaming so people can get back onto their streaks. Alright. Where's my mouse cursor? There it is. Alright, so we're going to be starting off with the gantry first, I believe. And when they came out with the set, it made me really, really want a space shuttle with gantry and like space shuttle with crawler. I think that would have been really awesome. Would take a lot of the Technic treads, though. All right. Let's get to the instruction booklet. A match made in space. Our most important LEGO mission is to inspire the builders of tomorrow. And why settle for the sky if we can push our limits into space? For more than 50 years, NASA has inspired new generations of creative, brave and groundbreaking explorers. Now, with the first Artemis mission successfully completed in 2022, and more to follow in years to come, NASA returns to the moon to establish a long-term human presence and scientific exploration on and in the orbit of the moon. To begin this journey of discovery, NASA, in collaboration with international space agencies and experts in the field, has spearheaded the Space Launch System, SLS, and Orion spacecraft, their most powerful rocket and most capable spacecraft to date. Inspired by NASA's Artemis Block 1 rocket, with the Orion spacecraft, this model replicates authentic details to land you in the front seat to as many imaginary rocket launches and thrilling space missions as you can imagine. Get ready to build your way to the moon and beyond. Let's see, history in the making. As part of the Artemis missions, NASA will, and the first woman and first person of color will land. I thought that was a parentheses. Will land the first woman and first person of color on the moon. I think they've actually changed that now, which is garbage. At 8,818,490 pounds, 4 million kilograms of thrust, the NASA SLS is the most powerful rocket built to date. The Orion spacecraft traveled 42,874.6 miles, 69,000 kilometers, beyond the moon during the Artemis 1 mission, farther than any other spacecraft built for humans. You already live on the moon? Why are people coming to the moon? It's yours. Well, maybe they want to say hi. Artemis 1 journey. Liftoff. To overcome the pull of Earth's gravity, the NASA SLS produced nearly 8,818,490 pounds of thrust. Let's see, core stage and boosters. Core stage and boosters broke off after their fuel had been used. So that's 2. 3, low Earth orbit. LEO, alright. And I don't like blue text on black background. That's not great. Now, the upper part of the rocket, the interim cryogenic propulsion stage, and Orion accelerate at more than 17,398 miles per hour, 28,000 kilometers per hour, began a circular orbit around Earth. Orion journeys out of LEO without completing a full orbit of Earth. Translunar injection, TLI. The interim cryogenic propulsion stage accelerated the vehicle to overcome the pull of Earth's gravity, propel Orion out of low Earth orbit, and get it close enough to be captured by the Moon's gravity. 5. To the Moon. The interim cryogenic propulsion stage separated from Orion. Orion headed to the Moon for its 3-week mission, while the CubeSats deployed from the OSA ICPS continued on a similar path to study the Moon and deep space. 6. Systems and environment testing. Orion fired the maneuvering engines on its service module to bring the spaceship around the far side of the Moon. NASA tested critical systems in the environment of deep space. 7. Return to Earth. Upon Orion's re-entry to Earth, the heat shield endures temperatures up to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 2,760 degrees Celsius. You do not want to get your Lego that hot, trust me. Or half as hot as the surface of the Sun, and it's recovered from the Pacific Ocean off the coast of California. And we get some pictures. Artemis 1 through 5, honoring the Apollo missions, 1961 to 1972. The name of NASA's Artemis missions also draws inspiration from Greek mythology, with revered Artemis as the goddess of the moon and twin sister to Apollo. With its first flight test completed successfully, 4 additional Artemis missions have been confirmed for the coming years. Each mission aims to test and optimize the SLS and Orion performance, lunar re-entry velocities, deep space operations, and deployment of payloads. Ultimately, the goal is to expand the potential for crewed missions to Mars and beyond. The Lego can handle it. The Lego definitely cannot handle it. Like, if you left a Lego piece in a car on a hot day like this, even a day that's only like 80 degrees, I think it would deform. It wouldn't melt, but it would deform. Let's see. Artemis 1, first mission, uncrewed flight test. 2, first crewed flight test. 3, crewed landing and space and surface expedition. 4, first lunar space station assembly mission. 5, crewed mobile surface exploration and gateway expansion. From the Lego designer. Every Lego set based on a reality has a history. With the NASA SLS, we can't even begin to imagine its role in future space exploration. A little bit of Lego rocket science was required when designing this model, as we wanted to have different functional stages of the rocket. The launch tower required a special way of building using sticks and Lego Technic connections to make and stack the latticework sections. Just like in real life, a vehicle safety system secures the rocket to the launch tower, and a retractable service umbilical can be disengaged prior to launch by turning a small wheel. Details like staircases and doors help demonstrate the scale of the model. The rocket itself can be removed from the pad. Both boosters can be detached and removed, and after removing a panel, the upper rocket stage is released. When opened, it reveals the Orion spacecraft, featuring deployable solar panels. The rocket can also be separated into smaller pieces, just like the real launch rocket, and the Orion spacecraft can be displayed outside the model. Can Lego handle Mega Flare? Yes, it can. Each major element of the NASA SLS serves a unique purpose. See, little known fact, plastic is completely unaffected by Mega Flare. Let's see, Orion spacecraft. The Orion spacecraft is made of 3 primary elements: the launch abort system, the crew module, and the service module. The SLS core stage is the tallest rocket stage NASA has ever built, at approximately 211.9 feet. 64.6 meters tall and 27.5 feet in diameter. Its fully fueled weight, excluding engines, is 2.4 million pounds. The engine section houses 4 RS-25 main engines, thrust structure, propellant ducts, avionic systems, and thrust vector control systems. The aft skirt contains a thrust vector control, TVC, a system that steers the booster exhaust nozzle based on commands from the booster avionics. Fly Me to the Moon plays in the distance, or some such pop culture reference you don't know? Well, yeah, I mean, that famous song from Evangelion. Launch abort system. In the case of an emergency during launch, 3 solid rocket motors work together to propel the Orion and its crew away from the rocket for a safe landing in the ocean. Crew module. The Orion crew module will serve as the habitat for the crew while traveling to the moon, and provide astronauts with food, water, oxygen, and protection from hazards like space radiation. European module. Orion's service module is the powerhouse of the spacecraft, supplying it with electricity, propulsion, thermal control, and the air and water astronauts need in space. For more information, please visit esa.int/ESM. Solid rocket boosters. In real life, the SLS solid rocket boosters are the first element to be installed on the mobile launcher. When loaded with propellant, each booster weighs 1.6 million pounds. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Kamsu Sertat, well, sure, if you want, but he specifically mentioned Fly Me to the Moon, which is a... I mean, maybe I'm misremembering, but isn't that what plays at the end of every episode of Evangelion? A habitat module, yeah. I mean, I'd have to go back and look to see if that's correct. So we're getting started on making the gantry right now. So how's everyone doing today? Happy that it's Friday? Happy that it's blisteringly hot out? DC is actually getting, like, the worst of the heat in the area. We've broken records, yesterday and today. You hate summer? As do I. As do I. I like winter. I am ready for snow. If by blisteringly hot he means 61F, I mean, you're in Finland, I assume that's blisteringly hot. It's really not. Well, it's currently 97F. It hit 102 today. They closed down the Great American Fair because of the heat. So, you know, feel bad for the 2 people who were there. The warmest you had was in May? Wow. Well, luckily I have air conditioning, so... the greatest invention of all time. Gonna mock all the dinos in FF6 until you run into the scary one. I mean, as you do, right? I bet you didn't know that there was a giant pink brick in the center of the gantry for the Artemis. Bet you didn't know. Yeah, we're supposed to get thunderstorms that drop the temperature, although I think it's only dropping it to like the 80s. But that's still like Sunday night. It's going to be very hot tomorrow and still hot on Sunday. You were doing prep work trying to make the scary dino less scary until you read up on Ultima and realized the work you did means nothing? Oopsie. Like an old friend of yours liked to say when he lived close by, it's the land of extremes. It's either effing hot or effing cold. Never anything in between. Well, as they say about Maryland weather, wait 10 minutes and it'll be something different. Not that that has worked lately, for the past couple days. Ultima ignores magic defense and bypasses magic evasion. Yeah, I think my usual plan for getting around Ultima in that game was to just have lots of hit points. Wonder if there's an Easter egg to that pink brick. I doubt it. LEGO just likes using different colors like that to have contrast. I mean, I'd much rather have a pink 2x4 than a yellow 2x4, so there is that. Alright, now we flip it around and we get to use all these red bricks. Don't actually see these get used too much these days, these brackets. So it's nice to have them used. They are classic brackets. They've been around for a very long time. Yet everyone with equipment that boosts magic defense and magic evasion, and now, you know, Ultima just bypasses it. Okay, then one goes right there, one goes right there, and the other one goes right there. Alright, so that is Bag number 1. All right, bag number 2. Alright, put those to the side, these to the side. There we go. So we do also have two 32L axles. I'm guessing that those are going to go in the solid rocket boosters. So 1x4s rather than 1x3 tiles here. Another 1x4 here. Hopefully there'll be something holding this together and not just by one single stud. There we go. And Hunter Bee subscribed, 41 months. Thank you very much. Wowza indeed. How are you doing? We are starting out the Artemis launch system. There we go. Okay, so 1x2 here. 1x6 tile. 2x2. 1x6 and a 2x2. Alright. So it's a little bit better. It's one stud here and one stud there. Trying to beat down the heat wave. Yes, I am inside with the air conditioning on. It really helps. There we go. Alright. 1x10 and a 2 orange 1x2 bricks. And a 2x2 over here. 2x2 here, and then a 1x16 bricks. Very, very grateful to have AC. Yeah. It is the most wonderful of inventions. It truly, truly is. Alright. You don't think you'd survive without it? Yeah. It's, like, heat is a killer. Heat is actually worse than the cold. And one of the main reasons for that is because it's actually pretty easy to get a place warmed up a little bit. Certainly, like, you know, you can put more layers on, have a fire in a fireplace, or make yourself some hot food on the stove. That kind of thing. So the heat kills way more than the cold does. There we go. Well, heat you can solve too as well to a certain extent, but like there's fewer things that you can do. Like shade and don't work, don't exert yourself, drink plenty of fluids. Unfortunately, for some people that is, you know, easier said than done. There, 1x2s here. Got the dark gray 1x6s. You live in the frozen north where it never gets hot? Well, just you wait. Alright, 4x4 with cutout right here. And that goes on right there. Okay. It's already 85 when you get up for work at 4:30 a.m. Yeesh. Yeah. It's pretty disgusting out. Pretty disgusting out. Alright. And we get these bricks on here. There we go. Okay. There we go. So these connect up together like that. And we grab bag number 3. Kitty's a furnace? Well, that's why he likes your lap, because you're comparatively cool. Alright, let's see. We are getting a clear 1x1 cylinder plates, and that is right there in the middle. Okay. And once again, right there in the middle. And another pair of clear 1x1 cylinder plates. Two 2x4s. And corrugated bricks. Two by four spaced that way. There we go. We got our 1x4 half tile there. And then more corrugated bricks. Well, it might be worldwide, but I think it might be in first world countries, more people die of heat than the cold. I don't know. I saw a stat recently, so I didn't look at it too deeply. It might also depend on the measure, like what exactly is being measured. Alright, corrugated brick there. Corrugated brick there. Oh, that might have been it. The U.S., it might have been just for the U.S. rather than worldwide. Okay. Alright, now we get some more plates. Alright, and this is going on top of this part here. There we go. Now we flip it around. And we're doing basically the same thing here with a clear 1x1 cylinder plate in the middle. And another pair of clear 1x1 cylinder plates. 1x3, 1x8. More 2x4s. And more corrugated bricks. It is interesting the structure that we're getting built here. Alright, 1x1s. Like, it's a lot more than just a box. I mean, it's basically a box. But it is a bit more than just a box. Yes. Yes, I am, Vigistry. But it's not a cardboard box. Okay, we get a lot of gray 1x1 Technic bricks. Corrugated bricks that are vertical. 1x8. I mean, obviously it's a plastic box, not a rogue AI. I mean, as they say, life in plastic, it's fantastic. Okay, and then this goes right on here. Alright, 3 of these. Technic friction pins on our pin collectors. It's possible that's another line, but the main one that I'm thinking of is life. Okay, now we get that here. That rests on nothing. Get our elbow cylinders. There we go, get that right there. I have never heard that intentional misreading, so. And we get this one right in there. All right. So we've got a few kind of piping structures here. And we get another one over here. Okay. And that one goes right in here. And then finally, our 1x4 half tile right there. All right, spare parts. We've got a 1L beam in white, a black friction pin, and a clear 1x1 cylinder plate as extra pieces. All right, bag number 4, which is not very big. Really aren't that many parts in here. Surprised they use such a big bag for it. Alright, let's see. We are turning it a bit this way. Some blue plates. One by 3 brick here, and a 1x1 brick right here. Okay. Alright, some black 2x16s? No, 2x14s. They're going to overhang a little bit here. There we go. No, I moved them. Because something bumped Princess Linda. Nope. Missed that one there. Alright, all of the 2x4s are used up. Now the gray is a 2x16. And it is overhanging a little bit more. These are 2x12s. Red 2x10. No overhang there. Alright. We got a lot of plates on. Okay, spare part. We got a gray 1x1 plate. That was bag number 4. Look, Princess Linda is a princess. Monkey's just a monkey. They can't get married. The bag was almost empty and still had a spare part in it. Yeah, well, that's what you get with 1x1 plates. Alright, so we are making a kind of a wall section here. Two 1x6s and a 2 1x2 rail plates. Princess Linda should be allowed to marry whoever she wants. I don't think you understand how royal marriages work. Alright, now we get some brackets, 1x2 to 1x2 upward brackets. Okay, so now we build a different one. I mean, Princess Linda can't marry someone else until she's an actual queen. Like, when she's Queen Linda, then she has choice. But until then... Okay, now we get a 1x6 plate. And 1x2 to 2x2 downward brackets. And those do go together. Does her father or mother have a fiancé in mind? You'd have to ask them. Horse knows them, but I don't. She is here to learn the ways of breakfast soup as well. Like, it's an important thing to learn as a princess. Okay, there we go. Get that on there. Princess Linda took Horse to meet her parents? You act like Horse needs to meet someone to know them. I mean, look at Horse. Look at Horse's eye. He knows all. There's nothing he doesn't know. Oops. Not 2 of those, I need a 1x1. Can he answer what's in the soup? Of course he can answer. Doesn't mean he will. Does Horse know how many licks it takes to get to the Tootsie Roll to center of a Tootsie Pop? Of course he does. But again, he's not telling. Howdy, Iogra, how's it going? There we go. Okay, next up. I find it interesting that we're building, like, sections of this at a time, rather than just, like, all right on top of it. Sleepy just woke up from a nap? Hey, no worries. I understand that feeling very well. I am actually sleepy myself, although not as bad as it's been some other days, so. What's the point of knowing everything if you're just going to hoard it all to yourself? I mean, he knows when to reveal information and when to keep it secret. I mean, he's very wise that way. There are none wiser. Okay, that gets on there. Meanwhile, you're over there playing WoW and wondering what the horrid toric monstrosities you should make. Grabs a bugbear and contemplates what creature you should mix it with. Careful, Lord Canis. That's how you get mongrel men. Okay, more brackets. 1x2 to 2x2 downward brackets, and then 1x2 to 1x2 upward brackets. Now, bugbears are closely related to goblins. In fact, on Cerelia, they are seen as great goblins. There we go. Get that on there. All right. So this portion, it's ribbed for her pleasure. All right, flip it over. We get 1x6 there, 1x6 here, and then ingot tiles all along here. Okay, and then we get nozzles right in there. Okay. So we got a basically like a corrugated side here. And spare parts, we have a single gray nozzle. Orc streaking in chat. It's always the goblin folk. Alright, looks like we are doing much the same this time around. We get to have more ribbed siding. Ribs. Oh yeah, no, over here. All right, 1x2 to 1x2 upward brackets. Humanoid chimeric people? You mean with mixed parts? Like they might have a lizard man patch, or a Kuotoa patch, or a bugbear ear kind of thing. 'Cause that's the original mongrel man. I think later editions of D&D changed him to, like, chameleon folk, where people just don't recognize that they're a different group. I did that wrong. I put that on. I should not have put that on. Wait a second. I shouldn't put that on either. No, wait. Nope. Ah, lost my place. Technically was correct, but we'll put that there, because I was just putting it on rather than doing it as a section and confusing myself. Maybe that's why they split it up. That would make sense. Well, I mean, I think that there is a view that they might have been created by wizards, but at this point, it's just that, like, the kid of two mongrel men will just be extremely varied in terms of physical attributes, physical traits. Yeah, Pathfinder is not D&D. They intentionally do things differently. For legalistic reasons, if nothing else. It's the way to have the same creatures without getting in trouble by having them have the same backstory. And risk copyright infringement. Like the good old legally distinct Hobbit, the Bobbit? Yeah, exactly. Always kind of funny that you get those very early Ultima games and you could choose races. When you come to them from the later Ultimas, you're like, wait, what? Elves? Dwarves? What? And Zakad subscribed with Prime. Thank you very much. Mongrel Men seem like a good candidate for an extra wild talent. I don't think they do, though. I don't think they are likely to have like any more likely to have psionic ability. Partly because none of the humanoid races that they, you know, kind of get parts from tend to be all that psionically active. Right, now we get upward brackets. Somehow the people of Britannia forgot how to make spaceships. I mean, there was a big upheaval. What do you expect? Things get forgotten. Or suppressed. Alright, there we go. Get that on, flip it over. Hype Train Bits and Grits Enjoy. I've never actually had grits. That's true, there was time travel involved as well. Alright, this one goes right on here. There we go. So now we have two ribbed sides. And now bag number 7. Isn't time travel one of the worst things you can add to a video game? I mean, it depends on how you're adding it. Are you saying, Bahamut, that Chrono Trigger is a terrible game? I think that's what you're saying. I think you're saying that Chrono Trigger is a terrible game. I have not used time travel at all in my D&D game. I probably won't either. Not that I have anything against it, I think you kind of need a campaign where that's a thing. That's like a gonna be a significant thing. Can't just be a one-off little fun adventure. Okay, so... Alright, let's get these parts off to the side. Alright, so we are getting... some stairs here. There we go. You're still really torn about Dragon Quest XI using it? So Dragon Quest XI's use is, from an emotional point of view, good. It was nice to be able to save a character, a beloved character. From a storytelling point of view, bad. Like, from a literary point of view. 'Twas not good. Ah, but that wasn't actually time travel. It was just a dream sequence. None of the players got killed or knocked unconscious, but if they had been, they would have been perfectly fine at the... well, not perfectly fine, but they would have been alive again at the for the next dream. Okay, more corrugated bricks. And red taps. Get that on there. Another pair of corrugated bricks. The main problem with time travel is that you do have to do it in a certain way. Like, it can undermine the storytelling. It's more of an issue in, like, a TV show than, you know, that's not focused on time travel, like Star Trek. Oops. I do want 1x1 cylinder plates on top. There we go. And another one of these right there. Unlike the real-life Space Shuttle launch pad, the LEGO SLS platform has partly open sides showing interior details like pipes and staircases. Oh. Still want to try to chase up those town names or location names from that dream sequence? I mean, you can certainly try. I don't hate the city on the edge of forever. Edge of tomorrow. No, isn't it the city on the edge of forever? Not tomorrow? Whichever one it was. It's more like time travel is just one of those things that you have to do right. Not every show gets it right. Same thing with, like, alternate dimensions. Like, it got to a point where on rewatches of Deep Space Nine, I don't watch the Mirror Universe episodes because I just don't care. All right, Wolfon, have a good rest of your night. Thank you very much for coming on out. So again, like the problem with time travel episodes is whether or not it renders something, and this can be said for alternate dimension episodes as well. Whether it renders something, an element of the show, kind of pointless. You know, do you care? Like, I don't care what happens in the mirror dimension. It's interesting when the main characters are stuck there, like in the first Mirror Universe episode on the original Star Trek. But, like, some of the later series, luckily, Next Generation never dealt with it, thankfully. But some of the other ones just, like, go there too often, and I just don't care. Do I watch the baseball episode? Yes. Oops, not that. That's true. Voyager never touched the Mirror Universe episode either. Voyager is actually better than I think most people remember. There are some episodes that aren't great, and there are certainly things that would have made the series better. How do I feel about Star Trek 4? The Journey Home? That's a great one. I mean, it's more lighthearted. Your brain immediately went Enterprise did werewolf stuff? I mean, one of the fun things about Star Trek 4 is just the element of, like, seeing these characters out of time kind of thing, trying to interact with a time that they don't know. It's a fun episode. A fun movie. And it's very character-driven, that's the other thing. I have not watched any of the new stuff. Just, I mean, I don't have Paramount Plus, so... Alright. Let's get that. Get the long friction pin. There we go. And this goes right on there. So we got the different sides there. Alright, spare parts. We got a silver 1x1 plate, cylinder plate, gray 1L beam, gray 1x1 cylinder tile with top peg, dark gray friction half pin, and a red tap. Alright, bag number 8. Lower Decks, from what I've heard, definitely seems to be made by people who love the love Next Generation in particular. All right, so 8 of these. Where are we starting? Okay. There we go. But again, I don't have Paramount Plus, so I can't watch them. Alright, now 6 more of the half tiles. Lower Decks explains why Harry Kim was never promoted. I mean, there was no, like, if he got promotions, just for, like, time in the service kind of thing, then so would everyone, and you'd end up with, like, a ship full of no lower officers at all when you got back to the Alpha Quadrant. I mean, even if you have streaming, you can also just not watch those things. There it is. There we go. He was never promoted because Lower Deck says that a promoted Harry Kim is an evil Harry Kim. Alright, now 9 more of those. Okay. All right, 2 more here. Two 2x2 half tiles here and here. Another 4x6 half tile here. 2x6, and a 6x8. There we go. Is that like the Far Cry game where if you just wait around at the beginning for like a half an hour, the game will just end? I think it's a Far Cry game. I don't know. It's not one that I played. I've just heard about it. Non-standard ending, but not a game over. Alright, and then 2 more 4x6 half tiles. So many 4x6 half tiles. And then 3 4x4 plates with cutouts. Another 6x8. Three more 4x6 half tiles. Okay, I've got a 1x2 plate. Have I missed where this goes? No, I have not. That is extra. Alright, I get an extra 1x2 plate. Alright, flip it over. And we go to bag number 9. And a lot of gray boat studs here. Alright, first of all, 4x4 with cutout, 4 white 2x2 corner bricks, and 2 green 1x2 plates. Yeah, more paper bags would have been nice. So it does go all the way through. Alright, so 8 double stacks of a 2x2 cylinder plates. I wonder why they're double stacking these rather than using just a 2x2 brick. Or just the boat studs. Think you're allergic to privet hedge pollen? You're doing landscaping and your head is super itchy? Well, hopefully you don't break out in full body hives. That is something that I strongly recommend against. Howdy, Sealand. How's it going? Alright. We got boat studs on all of the sides. Now we get double stacks of 2x2 plates. Yeah, a shower might help if you still have the stuff on you to wash it off. And a hot shower, getting the steam up in your nasal passages, that can help with, you know, if you're congested. Obviously, also get, you know, take some antihistamines, Claritin or Zantac or Zyrtec, whichever one it is. I can never remember. One, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14. Well, I mean, like, antihistamines will also really help. Trust me on this. Take it from someone who knows. Horse told me something? No. No, that was from me discovering it through full body hives. I kind of feel like I want to put this here and this one here just to lock these in, but I don't suppose it really matters. Alright. 2 2x8 Technic bricks. And 2 more 2x8 Technic plates, I mean. We are really using lots of 3x3 plates here. Is there a chocolate, mocha, or coffee color for bricks? I mean, depends on... I mean, there's a lot of dark colors. You've got brown and dark brown. Alright, lots of 1x2 tiles with center studs. Name those? No. And I don't think they would name anything those names either. Well... No, I don't know. I'd have to look at, like, the all the various flesh tones. Because there's a lot of flesh tone colors. Not all of them are nougats. Oh, brittle brown and brittle dark red? Like, the color hasn't changed, but they have changed the formulas so that they should not be as brittle. I've never actually had anything broken because of that. Alright, more of these. Tempted to go to the Saturday market if they're open tomorrow? I mean, would they do anything like, have games or things for kids? Like rides? Alright, only 3 of these. Get that in there. Now, 1x1 tile slopes. Alright, 8 1x1x2 slopes. What's the mean time of Lego decomposition? I have no idea. It's plastic, so it's very long. It's one reason why they've tried to use plant-based plastics for some things. Okay, now 1x1 tiles on these, and they're facing the opposite way. I have no idea what this structure is going to be. I assume it's going to go in here somewhere, but I have no idea. There is bacteria that can eat plastic, but it might depend on the type of plastic. It might not be able to eat everything. And I doubt it's out there in the open. Now, that's the thing. That's another thing, though, is that you leave everything alone for thousands of years, hundreds of years, something like that, and you're probably going to get some bacteria that starts to break it down, because otherwise it's just material that isn't touched. Howdy, Rovaljax, how's it going? An old stream indeed. Oh. Alright. So we're flipping this over. Going here. We are sinking this thing right in here. If we can. There we go. Yes, wood was untouched for a very long time until things figured out how to break down wood. That's why we have coal. Like, that's what coal is. It's basically a specialized form of fossilized wood that wasn't broken down. You like the use of rack gears as stairs? Yes. Yeah, I do too. Alright. So, spare parts. We got 1x1 black tile, 1x1 black tile slope, and a 1x1 cylinder tile in dark gray. Possibly Roval Jacks. I have not seen anything of the sort, though. But that's not, like, indicative of anything. A bag almost entirely full of taps. I knew this was coming. Yep. Fire extinguisher tops. It's not just taps. There are a few dark gray 1x2 tile slopes in there. Alright. First thing, get some tiles around here. One there, one there. And all the way down here. Oops. Well, they were first used, I think, as, I mean, they were really first used as fire extinguisher tops and, like, sink taps to replace the very cool but very specialized tap element. Alright, 1x2 tiles, because there are 2 of those. Not in there. Yep, there they are. There's the other one. And now another pair of corner tiles. There we go. Alright, we need 4 of the 1x2 slopes with tile top and cutout. And then we are getting beige, or tan 1x2 plates. Alright, this is going to go back here. And there. Alright, now for shorty bricks. 4 tile slopes. One right there. One right there. One right there. And finally, one right there. Okay. Now we make another pair of these. Turn that text message, turn my phone sound off so that I don't get dings for text messages. Wait. Yeah, we are. Okay, these are dark gray 1x2 plates with angle bars. The same kitty turned off the AC? Wow. He likes it very warm, apparently. Alright, and this one goes over here. She jumps on the buttons just the right way. Alright, now 88 taps. $88 taps. Do 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 do. And they all have to kiss. Nah, that wouldn't have as many taps. Will there be time travel when I hit the 88th tap? Nope. Because unfortunately, I am not going fast. Go back and see it all again. Yeah, I just crash, break them all off. Then I have to do them all over again. Because just like Eddie Money, I want to go back and do it all over again. Alright, straight across here. No, it's definitely not the Eiffel Tower. The gantry might get into Eiffel Tower areas, though. Alright, there we go. I know, not a rogue AI. What is it about Elmer? Okay, now a set of 2 here. This 2-year-old took apart a multi-day puzzle, losing days of progress. Parenthood. Alright, so we want to go to here, alright. Still amused by the water they need to spray under the rockets at launch to protect the launch facilities from the exhaust heat. It does get quite hot. I'm actually kind of surprised that we haven't tried any like maglev mass driver launches. I suppose the infrastructure needed for that would be quite extensive. It is reusable, yeah. Alright, so 4. So we're starting there, alright. And if you have like a sled that the lifting vehicle, you know, drops off at the after the initial run up, you know, that's another reusable thing. Okay, so we have 2 extras. Did I put too many on somewhere? I feel like I've ended up with extras. Maybe I miscounted. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 6. 2, 3, 6. No, that's correct. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Nope. Nope, that looks correct. Alright. So there's 2 extras. I'm not sure. Normally there's 1 extra of those taps. I don't know if we're going to use that or if we really did just get 2 extras of those. I love getting these pieces. Always a fear when you're in Minecraft. Did I count correctly? Yeah. Need some massive capacitors and friction of those speeds is a factor. Well, I mean, like, I guess I'm kind of surprised that no one's tried to do like a proof of concept for like trying to get small satellites into orbit. Okay, and that goes right there. A LEGO rocket must be powered the LEGO way, of course. The stacked rounded 1x2 plates inside the gas station in front of the rocket have a long LEGO history. I think they're talking about these. Or maybe they're talking about the round 1x2s. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So I got to make 2 of these. Well, I mean, like if you replace the Orion capsule with explosives, this rocket would be a pretty powerful weapon too. So there is an element of just don't use it as a weapon. Like, a lot of people would get killed if everyone decided to use their car as a weapon. Luckily, most people don't use their car as a weapon. Okay, I think what they're talking about here is actually the colors. The green, red, and white, which is octan. And then 1x1s underneath. Okay. Nope, not that one. I want that one and that one. There we go. This will be the covering of these bits, making that an Easter egg. There we go. Curved slopes, tile slopes, and then on we go. There we go. Flip them over. And basically mirror them. There we go. So one of these is done. Exactly what we're going to do with it, I don't know yet. Okay. Now, on top, I think we'll grab all the rest of these parts. Okay, and on there, and there. Okay. Then we get white taps. On the top part. Okay. The SLS uses larger solid rocket boosters than the NASA space shuttles. Liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen feed the RS-25 engines, which operate at higher thrust level with new controllers. Okay, that gets on there. That gets on there. There we go. All right, now we're on to bag number 11. We have spare parts of a dark gray 1x1 tile slope, a white tap, and 2 gray taps. And bag number 11. Well, I hope you have a bagel as well, Nadarogi. Alright, so we have 2 of these gantry pieces, some large plates. More plates that I missed. There we go. Alright, now 2x6. Orange 1x2 brick, and a red 2x6. You're craving deep-fried cheese curds now. Haven't you been eating like a lot of those lately? Or does it just seem that way? I have never had any myself. They are a habit for me. Alright, double stack of gray 2x6s. Cover the top with dark gray grill tiles. Oh, we're actually doing 2 of these, huh? Alright. I mean, really, if you deep fry anything, it's going to be yummy. That's the nature of deep frying. Okay, so this goes right there, and this goes on here, but right now it's just held on with friction, and we are getting a pair of these. Deep-fried Snickers bar is delightfully Scottish? Is that something they do up in Scotland? Okay, that goes on there. Flip this one over. More often it's Mars bars. They fry things like that at a Midwest state fair. What we could have had here. What we could have had here. And not that I probably would have gone because of the heat, but okay. Let's see. So this is slotting in right there. Howdy, Gilded Tongue. How's it going? Oh, wait. We gotta flip it. I'm not breaking anything off there, am I? No. Okay, that on the bottom to start to lock it in. There we go. So we do that to lock it in. It is a big base, yes. Hopefully we're not doing anything else underneath there. Most chippies. Is that your term for a chip place? Fish and chip shop, yeah. That's what I thought. Are there other things other than fish and chips, or is it just fish and chips? Like is there ever like a steak and chips place? Or is that just like not done? Ham and chips? Absolutely. Like, that is obviously the best. I mean, ham goes with everything good. Ham and potatoes. I said everything good, Bahamut. Ham and cookies, ham and corn, ham and ice cream. Just everything good. Ham goes with. Ham and more ham, yeah. Hey, if you wanna mix up a little capicola with your regular brown sugar glazed ham, absolutely. Ham, glorious ham, indeed. What is that? Not a rogue AI? Gotcha, Bagoose? All right. I can't believe you are so cruel to those dinos, Bahamut. Ham with ham sauce served between 2 slices of ham? I mean, can you get better than that? I don't think so. Alright, so this goes here. Actually, let's turn that around. They're happy and excited? I don't think they are. You were cruelly forcing them to dance around pickles. Who does that? History's greatest monsters, that's who. Okay, there we go. Now on the underside, a double stack of 4x4 plates with cutouts. Those are going to be a pain in the butt to separate. And this goes right on there. I would never do that, Zakad. That's just, like, gross. I had a sudden thought about what could happen during the game tomorrow when a certain priest thief is doing a little bit of exploring. Ow, my eye! Gods in multiple spheres. How do they work exactly? How do you mean, how do they work? Like, they work perfectly as you might expect them to work. If you mean, like, what happens if someone kills one in a sphere or something like that, I would recommend reading the section in either Faiths and Avatars. No, I think it's in Demi-Human Deities. But it might be in Faiths and Avatars, or it might be in Powers and Pantheons, now that I think about it. Right. But, like, what do you mean, how does it work? I'd have to go back and look to see exactly which book it's in. There is a section about gods and multiple spheres. It might be in Faiths and Avatars. That has a lot of basic material. Are each of these incarnations semi-independent of each other? Well, they're not incarnations, because, like, she's not in those spheres. She's in the Abyss. She just has access to those spheres. So she's the same entity. Of course, gods are mysterious, so whether mortals truly understand what she wants, you know, can they ever really? So you can have somewhat different interpretations, somewhat different portfolios. Obviously, you're not going to get a deity that is chaotic evil in one sphere and lawful good in another, unless they're like a neutral deity and they really do not care about doctrine. They only care about worship. Alright, now we are on to bag 12, which might be the last bag we do for the night. We'll see. Gillian? No, he would care. He cares, because he's all about strict neutrality. But, like, Tempest is a god of war. The only thing he doesn't like is filthy neutrals. You can sever a connection by defeating an element of a god or like wiping out all of their worshippers. That's really the main way to do it. Wiping out all their worshippers. Which is not an easy task. You're wondering how they did that since you had a discussion with your friend who is a DM. You've also been trying to drag in here so you can learn from me. And, I mean, like, a deity can voluntarily sever their connection to a sphere. But, I mean, once you get to a deity like Lolth, it's extremely hard to kick them out of a sphere. You know, oftentimes what will happen is that they'll just be reduced to slightly weaker status. Like a lesser power might become a demi-power, an intermediate power might become a lesser power, as they expend the energy to defend themselves. If a single member of a pantheon gets access, does that extend to the rest of them? No. There are spheres where Clangeddon has access, but no other dwarven deities do, for example. Now, once a deity in a pantheon knows about a crystal sphere, then they can inform others, and they can work on, you know, bringing the others in, or they can also, you know, their priests can also try to bring others into the faith of the whole pantheon. But if they're brand new, they probably won't want to do that. Not until they're like they've been there for a while and are real solid. You read that Tharizdun was a universe threat or something, but only a measly 1120 divine rank. I don't really know what that means. That means nothing to me. But Tharizdun is also imprisoned, so... Howdy, Shield of Hope. How's it going? Oh, goody. Lots and lots of corrugated bricks. Yeah, that's the thing. Tharizdun really doesn't have any allies, so if he did escape, most deities would be willing to work together against him, so... And there wouldn't be many who would be willing to ally with him. So safer to say it's more how much energy they invest in a sphere? They don't really have to invest energy. Like, if they don't have any worshippers in a sphere, then they don't know about that sphere. Like, none of the gods should be aware of Aethas, for example. Since none of them have access. Yeah, there are those who would want to know. Especially the elemental deities. It might be that the elemental deities know, but they also just don't care. Because you've got elemental clerics. They've got to be getting their power from somewhere. Yeah, they can, but demons aren't really gods, and most don't actively create cults. And you really, 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 really do not want to be summoning someone like Orcus. Or Demogorgon. There is a fun Dragonlance short story by Roger E. Moore about a wizard on Krynn who did summon Demogorgon, and it did not go well for him. Jeez, I like goofed up all of these, jeez. There we go. When does summoning a Great Demon ever go well? It would probably only go well if what you wanted from them happened to be something that they also wanted to do. But that would be extremely unlikely. Call reading a Planescape supplement commenting on how most lower planners don't care about defiling magic. Yeah, no, they would get a kick out of that kind of thing. Like, oh hey, look what we can do with this stuff. That and defiling magic is the default. Like if you're a wizard and you find yourself from outside of Dark Sun, you find yourself in Dark Sun, you're going to start out as doing defiling magic. You need to train to do preserving magic. Mainly not a rogue AI because those things don't offer, like, they don't lie and promise lots of power. Demons, devils, and daemons are all kind of happy to be like, yeah, we'll summon me and you'll get all kinds of power. Alright. Red lightsaber hilt. Oops. Get that in there. Just down enough to clip into there. There we go. Alright, spare parts. We got a red 1x1 cylinder plate with hollow stud, red lightsaber hilt, and a red 2L bar with stop. Alright, let's go on to the next bag. Alright, well, I accidentally ripped open the bottom. So I guess that's where we're opening this one from. Nope, don't roll under there. How do druids function in Aethas? They're nature priests. They're specifically like supposed to guard a certain area. Although they also have to leave periodically. If there was a D&D demon you'd be willing to summon, it'd be Pazuzu. You want to be Regan. Okay. So let's get this. This is getting awfully close to the camera. Pazuzu looks amazing. Urge to not make joke. Or urge to make joke rising. I think the idea of worshipping things is very anathema to most people. Like, it's just like not even something that occurs to most people on Athas. How do you pronounce Athas? Athos? I have a tendency to make things long. Oh, possibly. I can't say that I've ever heard like a TSR alum who worked on material for it pronounce it, so. This is very flimsy. I'm wondering what's gonna hold it all together. I mean, I get what you're. I get it, and that's it. I'm happy to admit that that is probably, more likely correct. Like I said, I have a tendency to make vowels long. TWSS? I don't know what that means. Alright, let's get a whole bunch of these. Oh yeah, no, I absolutely love going for historically accurate pronunciations and seeing you guys stumble over them. It is great. It is good times. It is one of the things that I look forward to in the D&D game. Like what pronunciations? Oh, there was the one giant named Antistophus. That was fun. What the heck was that name? It's Greek. Antistophus. It's phonemes that we don't often get in English. That's what makes it fun. Let's see. 8 friction pins. No, yeah, you got the first part right. Anti, A-N-T-I, then S-T-O-P-H-Y-S. That was in Forge Space. Well, he's not the antithesis of something. It's just not. There is no fist. There is no fist. Antistophis. Phys. P-H-Y-S. Admittedly, it should be more like piss. With an aspirated P, but A, I didn't know that at the time, and B, I knew the players would go another way with that. Oops, I need another one of those. Look, so in classical Greek, and through I think most of the Hellenistic period, although not in modern Greek, PH, TH, and CH were not. They were aspirated consonants as opposed to. You know. and sh, or ch. I don't think they had sh. Alright, there we go. This goes... Alright, first of all, slide this on here. And then this goes on here. Here. And connect up there. I mean, you guys asked for what some of the names were. Like, that was specifically a fun place because you had the Greek and the Norse. I can't remember most of the Norse names right now, but you had Gatla. Which, I'm getting the A wrong, but it's fine. I think it'd be more like Yatla. Alright, we got some universal joints. And these are just connected up there. Speaking of Hellenistic, good Zeus, some of the worst people are giving their opinions about the new Odyssey film. Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to go watch it just because so many crummy people are being crummy about it. Not finding this giant searching the internets? No, I made that name up. You're not going to find it. I mean, if you want actual Greek giants, you got, like, Enceladus. And, of course, Koios and Krios are both titans in some things and giants in others. I could have said that. I mean, I assumed that was understood by the fact that this was names that I was using in the D&D game. I've been meaning to rewatch the, I think it was 1999 Odyssey miniseries with Armand Assante. I remember really liking that. I am really curious what they're going to cut out of the, what Nolan has cut out for his Odyssey. I mean, I was just mentioning him because he's the one who's stars as Odysseus. I'm not saying that it's like the Armand Assante movie. Alright, Zakad, have a good sleep. I mean, I don't know that it would be 30 hours. And it depends on how much of the Iliad you're also going to include. I mean, I think you could do an unabridged Odyssey in under 6 hours for sure. I mean, it doesn't take that long to read the thing, so... Alright, there we go, and we are making more of these side bits. The Aeneid doesn't have the same cultural cachet. I mean, no one's ever done the Dionysia either, so... I would mention the Anabasis, but you can just watch the Warriors. I do think an actual historical drama of the Anabasis would be really interesting. Okay. So this goes on right here. Yep, that's all in. Alright, the other 4x4 with cutout will be on top of this. I'd love to see some more good historical dramas of Greek myth and history. And not like an actual historical drama as opposed to stylized. Okay, and this is going to slide in right there. Connect onto there. And spare parts, a 3L bar in blue. Alright, so bag number 14 is coming next, but I think that is going to wait until next time. So let's go ahead and start doing some minifigs. Yeah, the Argonautica would be good. More like a series of movies about the labors of Hercules. That would be great. And not, you know, ones that aren't trying to mix and match them like so many of the Italian films did. All right, 4. So we're going into the middle. 20. Roll again. 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So let's start a prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig pack? Get your predictions in. Let's go ahead and roll my die. 1. All right, so that is the Olympic swimmer. We got 3 from Bahamut. That would be the bunny guy. Let's see. We have not gotten the Eagle Warrior, the bunny, the bride, the King Triton, the bounty hunter, the Viking warrior lady, and Little Red Riding Hood. 7 for Nadarogai. That would be Evel Knievel. Hercules can be a hard sell on the start of the tale. That's true. A gingerbread Leonin police officer looking for the gingerbread man. We're going to get another gingerbread man with the next minifig set coming in September, because that is all Shrek. Also, unfortunately, next May is going to be more F1 racers. More of these, it sounds like. So that's disappointing. All right. Let me get my timer open. Gotta get rid of that stupid text message that I got. All right, timer is up. Okay, get your predictions in. Nope, too late. All right, and go. All right, let's see. Okay, we got shorty legs. Do we have any? Okay. 11.94. It is Little Red Riding Hood. I felt the shorty legs and then the hood. Make sure that everything is down in the bottom. close the box for all of my Lego bags. Alright, so that is Little Red Riding Hood. So let's choose the outcome. That is within 20 seconds because that was 11.94. Alright, Bahamut getting all of the hams. Very nice. Kinshir, Lord Canis, Gilded Tongue going for 20 to 50. Shield of Hope going for 50 to 60. And Lel Bunny going for no. Alright, let's go ahead and make our Little Red Riding Hood. Made it back for minifigs. Where's the head? There's the head. She has a small cape, because she has shorty legs. You did not miss all of them, only the first one. Something wrong with the stud there? I'm having a hard time getting the, There we go. There we go. I don't know if I've gotten a red cowl before, so that's nice. Okay, I'm not going to try to get it in her hands. I am just going to put it by her side. There we go. Alright. Little Red Riding Hood. There we go. Very adorable. Cute, cute dress. Got red shorty legs. Short cape, which is kind of being caught there. There we go. And a red hood, which, red cowl, which I don't know that I have gotten before. So that's cool. Very cute minifig. No back printing, though, since this is an older set. I did mark that off. All right. Next up, Series 10. Six. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right. 12. All right. There are Lego rapiers, yes. All right. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, start the prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig pack? Get your predictions in. Let's go ahead and roll my die. 9, that would be the paintballer. Let's see, seal and roll to 3, that would be the Roman Centurion. 7 for Bahamut, that would be the B-Girl. Go ahead and put this one back on the shelf. Four for Vigistry and Not a Rogue AI. That would be the Amazon Warrior. It's kind of a shame that they don't do like you know, big movie coming out, Christopher Nolan's Odyssey. So they do an Odyssey line, which isn't based on the movie, because you can't copyright the Odyssey. Like, you can copyright the specific interpretation of the Odyssey and stuff like that, but you can't copyright the Odyssey itself. Right, but it wouldn't be the movie The Odyssey. It would just be collectible minifigs The Odyssey. You know, their own interpretation of Odysseus. You'd have Polyphemus. Circe, which should be Kirke. No, I don't mean sets. I mean a set of collectible minifigs. All right, let me go ahead and reset my timer, get it all ready, because predictions are closed. All right. And go. All right. That's a head. There's another round piece. Okay. 18.45. I think we have the grease monkey. And that is correct. All right. So let's choose the outcome. Within 20 seconds, complete that prediction. Who is getting the hams? Bahamut, once again, getting all of the hams. Kinshir, Lord Canis, and Vigastry going for 20 to 50. Shield of Hope going for 50 to 60. And Lel Bunny going for no. Mark that down. And Gilded Tongue gifted a sub. Thank you very much. We've got our biker grease monkey guy. There we go. Go ahead and zoom in on him again. Did I? I think, yeah, I did, Mark. So we do have some back printing. We got some arm printing. So a chain on the, by his pocket. A skull and wrench belt buckle. And a fun face. All right. Looks like Cheech Marin. All right, so that is done. Okay. And for the final minifig of the night, let's see, we are only missing the Dalmatian. The Dalmatian is the only one that we haven't gotten yet. Five, so over here. And 9, so that is the final one. Let's slide that one in there. Okay. That is the last replacement, so we do not get the Dalmatian here. We are going to be reducing our counts. No, we've gotten all of the koala. We've gotten all of the koala. Everything else is available. The Dalmatian is the only one that we have not gotten. All right, let's start a prediction. Can all guess what is inside the minifig box? Get your predictions in. Go ahead and get my minifig scanner up. There we go. So D12 came up with a 4 for Sealan. That would be the monkey. Not a rogue AI got a 7. That would be the Dalmatian. Minotaur life support equipment installer. A Leonine in a bunny suit. Oh, I missed that you specifically were asking about anything that we got all of, yeah. A Leonine monkey pirate, and you guessed 1, so that would be the peacock. All right, so get your predictions in. I will give it a shake and a guess. Then I will roll the die, and then we will weigh it, and I should probably get onto the weights. Could be a peahen. I mean, it's colorful. All right, 48 seconds remaining. Get your predictions in. Can I guess what is inside the minifig pack? Yeah, it's the guys among peacocks that are fabulous. It's the ladies who need to be impressed, not the guys. The ladies are the discerning ones. Alright, just a few seconds remaining. Alright, and predictions are closed. Okay, I think I'm going to go with the parrot because I'm sensing that there's something large inside here, possibly the envelope for the tail fabric pieces. So we got 10. That would be the bunny. Let's get the weight. So we're looking at about 20 grams. No, 18.53. Okay, that could be the alligator. Could be the peacock, but that's a little bit off. That is closest to the alligator. All right, we're going to go with the alligator. Not the Dalmatian. Nope. Nope. Let's scan it. Oh, wow, lion costume. Okay, way off. That comes in at 18.07. Okay, I think what I was hearing was the instruction booklet stuck there. So I think that's what I was hearing. All right, so let's choose the outcome. That was a no. Let's complete that prediction. Who's getting all the hams? Sealin and Lel Bunny getting all the hams. Very nice. Bahamut and Gilded Tongue going for yes with guess. Shield of Hope going for yes with die roll. Kinshear, Lord Canis, and Vigistry going for yes with weight. But it was a no. Well, so it's an instruction. It's instructions and a checklist. See, checklist on that side and instructions on this side. See, shows you putting those together, putting that together, putting the tail on the birds. So yeah. We'll make him roar. Or he might be having an ouchie. I did forget the tail, yes. Best 10 hams you ever spent? And he's got a drumstick, but he doesn't want chicken. Alright, so there we go. He does have a different head back there. So this is bright orange. So it's similar to yellow, but not quite. And dark red for the tip of the tail, the mane, and the hands. That is dual molded. Very nice. Is the Cowardly Lion a deep cut now, like 100 years later? I mean, there is a Cowardly Lion minifig from a previous set. The second Lego Movie minifig set, that's when they were still 16. So it actually had 12 from the movie, and then it had the Dorothy and Toto, Cowardly Lion, Tin Man, and Scarecrow from Wizard of Oz. That was really cute. All right, but that is going to wrap us up for tonight. We have quite a bit of rocket left to build, since, you know, all we've actually done so far is gantry and launchpad. So when we come back next time, hopefully next Wednesday, we will continue on. We will be back tomorrow for some more Spelljammer. We should be back Monday for more Dragon Quest VII, Wednesday and Friday for more Lego building, and I shall see you next time. See you then, everyone.